before World War II, the Soviets fought the Japanese near Mongolia, so the Mongols, who were pretty much a Soviet satellite at the time, sent cavalry units to go fight the Japanese at the Battle of Khalkhin Gol. Then, during the Soviet invasion of Manchuria in 1945, Mongolian cavalry troops were deployed once again, but they saw very little action. But of course, this was not the last time cavalry were used by a military. For instance, in India they have a large cavalry unit, but that's mainly ceremonial. And in China today and in Mongolia, they deploy cavalry units, but I don't think they've ever seen action, and they act more like scouts. And I should say, when I say cavalry, I mean actual men on horses, not armoured cavalry. So I'm going to run over the last time cavalry units were used in battle. Let's start off with World War II. On the Eastern Front in particular, cavalry were used quite a bit, especially in the early stages of the war. For instance, Polish troops were decimated by Nazi tanks at the Battle of Grudziądz, and then a couple of weeks later, German cavalry units clashed with Polish cavalry units at the Battle of Krasnodar, and towards the end of the war, Polish cavalry units were harassing German supply lines. Otherwise, in 1942, US cavalry attacked the Japanese at Bataan, and on the Eastern Front again, the Italians attacked Soviet artillery, and in fact this was probably the last successful cavalry charge. And I should add here, the Japanese didn't employ so many cavalrymen, but they did have bicycle armies, and this is because they had no fuel, and they were very successful when the Japanese captured Malaya and the like. But of course, these were all pretty minor when compared to cavalry charges of the past. To get a real cavalry charge, you probably have to go back to the 20s, like when the British attacked the Turks during the Turkish War of Independence, or when, say, in 1920, the Polish-Soviet War at the Battle of Komarov, when thousands of cavalrymen were involved. Even after World War II, there were cavalry units employed in battle. For instance, the Portuguese formed the Dragoons of Angola during their War of Independence, the Angolan War of Independence, and they in turn inspired the Rhodesians in the 70s to form Grey Scouts, and in Darfur today, there are the Janjaweed men who go around on horseback fighting and killing. But these latter ones are more like mounted infantry than cavalry. They mainly get around on horseback and then dismount to fight. So I'll pass it on to you. When was the last time cavalry were used effectively in battle?